My question to Dion was, if I decide to move in the mountains and if I'm writing a script for one whole year and I'm documenting everything that I do in that 1 year, by the end of that 1 year, when that movie gets made, wouldn't it be better to make content while I'm writing the script? So Dion called me out of nowhere and we started getting. So Dion called me out of nowhere and we got into this management conversation. And this is the hypothetical question that I proposed him. That if I was a screenwriter and I had decided to fuck off in the Himalayas, and I'm like, I'm going to stay here for 1 year, I'm going to write a script, and that's the only thing I'm going to work on, is for one whole year I'll write this script for this film. And in the second option, I do the same thing. I'm writing the script, but at the same time I'm also making content and posting content online and documenting my journey for that whole year that I'm writing the script. Now the question was, wouldn't it be better to make content and document my journey as I write that script for a whole year? Because at the end of that 1 year, when that script gets made, I would have all these built-in audience who are watching my content for the last whole year, and they've witnessed my process. They would rally behind my vision. They would kind of be attached to me, and they would want to see how did the movie come out after seeing me for a year writing the script. Even if it's just 1,000 people, I would have a built-in audience when I go and release this movie of mine. And this is what he had to say, and I truly think it gave me a lot of clarity. It's one of the best advice I've gotten in a while about how creators should look at content and how creators are very different from content creators. So there's this novel quote that I read a while ago, and it basically says that network is overrated. Once you have the best product in the world, the network caters itself to you. And what Dion said was very similar, but much simpler in a way that it clicked. I understood it. He basically said, my job as a screenwriter in that scenario is to focus on making the best film I possibly can. As a screenwriter, my job is to write the best script possible. Everything else needs to be outsourced to a manager or someone else. Because the moment I start thinking about two things at once, my focus will get diluted. If I'm thinking about writing the script and I'm also making content, it gets jumbled into this, now all these audience is watching what I'm doing every day, and I will get into how well the content is doing. I will get into what people think, and eventually what will happen is I'll end up writing the movie that people want to see, not the one that I want to make. And that's how everything just becomes mediocre. So it's like it becomes performative, and you start to perform. It's like a circus. You perform in a circus, and you perform for the circus, and you perform as a script writer, and your focus is not 100% going to the script. So my job is to make the best script possible, and all my focus and attention needs to go to that. All this rah-rah, that's what he said, all this rah-rah bullshit, like noise will be there when I have the best product in the world. But any great thing is 80% great product and 20% enhancement, and you can't get the enhancements first. You have to get the 80% product right. So my job is to get the 80% product right, and the 20% enhancement will come when it's the right time. Most of the people right now is 80% enhancement and 20% product, and that's why they won't make a generational impact, because they don't have stuff to back it up with. They don't have the substance. He was telling me about how, like, Mark was in the studio with some famous people, and Mark texted him. He's like, hey, I'm in the studio with these people. And Dion replied back and he said, good, now lock in, focus on it. And what he was saying was so true, because all this time we wait for that one moment. Like in Mark's example, all this time he was waiting to get in the studio with these people, but as soon as he was there, he wanted to tell Dion. And it's just human nature. We wait all our lives for this one moment, and the moment this moment appears, we want to run and tell somebody about it. And by the time we run and tell somebody about it, the moment is already over. The best thing you can do when the moment appears that you wanted, that you asked for, is to focus, lock in, and make the most out of that moment. Because time is not going to stand by. Like, this is a time for you to make something great, so focus all your energy on making something great. All this noise enhancement and all that can be done quickly, that can be picked up anytime, and it will 100% work as soon as you have 80% of the product. A great product, and it's 80% built, that 20% enhancement is really easy to do. And what made me what I realized by the end of this is people who make content don't make great movies. They are great at making content, which is why they're content creators. If I want to be someone who makes great movies, then I just need to focus on making great movies. There is probably someone out there who's great at making content who I can hire to do that job for me. And I learned this a long time ago. I have somehow forgot it in the right context. But if someone is better at doing something than me, then I can always outsource it. But my job is to make the best movies that I can, and that's the only thing that I need to focus on. Content is something that, like, there's people out there who are better at making it. So at the end of the day, you need to, like, figure out why. This is the best thing he said, I think, in the whole conversation. He said, figure out why you want to do it. Figure out what's the reason you really want to do this before you actually do it. Don't just do it. Don't just do stuff. But ask yourself why you're doing it. Because most of the people, they just do stuff hoping something will vaguely come out of that. That's not a strategy. It's just hope. You're just hoping for this fair outcome. Because you did something, you're going to get an equal output from it. Because you posted da-da-da-da-da-da, you'll get da-da-da-da-da. Like, it just, you're just hoping for something to come out of it. But do you really want to do it? At the end of the day, that's it is. If you can say that I'm doing this because of this, then you can do whatever the fuck you want, because you know what you're doing. But if you can't really formulate a sentence like that, where I'm doing this, which is like I'm making content, I don't really know why. Like, I'm hoping something will come out of it, but I don't really exactly know what's going to happen. That's kind of where I am at. It's like I'm kind of making content and I'm posting here and there, but I don't really know what I'm hoping to come out of it. I don't know. So that means it's not my place to do. That means I'm forcing it. That means I really don't want to do it. I don't have to question myself on making movies. I have known, and I know that that's just something I want to do, and I have a clear reasoning of why I want to do it. But with content, that's how I know I'm forcing it, because I don't really have a real reason to do it. It's a lot of busy work, and I think staying busy helps with making it feel like you're doing something. And in the process of making film, the gratification is so long. And I say I don't care about it, but the instant gratification from a film takes 4 or 5 years to come out. So meanwhile, content is a good means to be like, hey, telling people, hey, I'm doing something, but at the same time get instant gratification that, hey, oh, all these people see you that you're writing a script. But you don't need to do all that. All you need to do is lock in, make sure you make the best product, make sure you write the best script, and make the best movie there is. And then all this marketing people and all that, like, they will find out when is the right time. I think that gives me a lot of peace now, listening it from Dion, is that when the time comes, it will be very evident that you need marketing, because you have made such a good thing. You won't have to plan your marketing around your product because your product doesn't have enough substance, your product will be so big that the marketing ideas will flow. And we see this in celebrities. I've witnessed this. Everybody has their moments. All these directors, all these writers, all these actors, they have, even actors as famous as they are, they have their moments. Like, you hear about Jeremy Allen White every single day, every 5 minutes for the 2 weeks that the Calvin Klein ad drops or the new season of Bear drops, and then you don't hear about it. You don't hear about him for 2 years. So you have to have a whole enough life around you where that 2 years you would be living by your own. Nobody would really give a fuck about you, and you just be in your own solitude working on the product, which 3 years later you can go to the audience and be like, here's what I made, and the audience will be like, cool for 2 weeks, and then you go back. Like, takes 4 years to make a movie, 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, at least year and a half, and then it's in the theaters for 2 weeks. So forget about that gratification, forget the validation part, just focus on making the best product there is. And then when the time comes, you won't have to ask for it. People will come to you and validate you how great your product is. People will tell you. This is also something Dan refers to all the time, is like, people around you will tell you that, hey, this is good, what are you doing, this is great. You won't have to ask for it. And that's how you know you've made a great product and you've done your job. April 24th, 2 p.m.